Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies as we begin with part 1, The Indian Mason, from Book the Second, The Practice of the Mystic Tie, by Albert G. Mackey. Book the Second, The Practice. Of all the heavenly gifts that mortal men commend, what trusty treasure in the world can countervail a friend? Our health is soon decayed, goods, casual, light, and vain. Broke have we seen the force of power, and honor suffer strain. When fickle fortunes fail, this knot endureth still. Thy kin out of their kind may swerve, when friends owe thee goodwill. What sweeter solace shall befall than one to find, upon whose breast thou mayest repose the secrets of thy mind? He welleth at thy woe, his tears with thine be shed. With thee doeth he all joys enjoy, so lief a life is led. Behold thy friend, and of thyself the pattern see. One soul, a wonder shall it seem, in bodies twain to be. In absence, presence, rich in want, in sickness, sound. Yea, after death, alive mayest thou by thy snare friend be found. Nicholas Grimaud, 16th century. Part 1. The Indian Mason. It is not among civilized men only that the universal genius of Masonry has extended her purifying and protecting influences. Many Indians have passed through the ordeal of initiation, and it is worthy of remark that the Red Mason of the forest is said to be as tenacious of his obligations and as observant of his duties as the most intelligent and high-minded of his white brethren. Author's note: at the annual communication of the Grand Lodge of Georgia in 1854, we are informed that the Grand Master presented to the Grand Lodge Colonel P.P. Pitchlynn, a chief of the Choctaw Nation of Indians, who addressed the Grand Lodge in a most interesting and eloquent manner, giving good advice that he thoroughly felt and understood the true principles of the Order of Masonry, and also gave a very favorable account of the condition of the craft in his tribe, which he considered a convincing proof of their progress in civilization. Proceeding, G.L. of Georgia, 1854, page 26. A fact and proof of this assertion occurs in the revolutionary history of our country. Joseph Brent, a celebrated Mohawk Indian, had, on account of the strong natural intelligence he exhibited when a boy, had been taken under the especial patronage of Sir William Johnston, Governor of Canada, by whose care he received all the advantages of a European education. Subsequently, he went to England under the patronage of the Earl of Moira, afterwards the Marquis of Hastings, and, while in that country, was initiated into the mysteries of Freemasonry. On his return, however, the habits of early life resumed their influence, while the acquired ones of education were abandoned, and Brent, throwing off the dress and usages of civilization, assumed once more the blanket and the rifle, and seemed to forget, in the wilds of his native foresties, the lessons he had learned in his transatlantic schools. But the sequel of our story will show that, however treacherous his memory may have been in other things, on one subject at least, it proved to be admirably retentive. During the Revolutionary War, at the Battle of the Cedars, 30 miles above Montreal, on the St. Lawrence, Colonel McKinstry, then a captain in Patterson's regiment of Continental troops, was twice wounded and afterwards taken prisoner by the Indians employed in the British service. The previous bravery and success of Captain McKinstry had excited at once the fears and the resentment of his Indian conquerors, and in accordance with the customs of savage warfare, he was forthwith doomed to die at the stake, accompanied with all those horrid and protracted torments which the Indians knew so well how both to inflict and to endure. Already had he been fastened to the fatal tree, and the preparations for the human sacrifice were rapidly proceeding, when, in the strong agony of his despair, and scarcely conscious of a hope, the captive made the great mystical appeal of a Mason in the hour of danger. It was seen and understood and felt by the chieftain Brent, who was present on the occasion. Brent at once interposed in his behalf and succeeded by the influence of his position in rescuing his American brother from his impending fate. Having freed him from his bonds, he conducted and guarded him in safety to Quebec, where he placed him in the hands of the English, by whom he was permitted to return to America on his parole. Colonel McKinstry lived several years after to repeat with grateful emotions the history of this singular occurrence, and died at length in the year 1822. In the state of New York, I have been informed by Brother John W. Leonard, who has seen the records, that the son of Brent and McKinstry subsequently met together in a lodge at Hudson in the state of New York, and that both their names are recorded on the visitor's book. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.